Hello, welcome. This is Sandrine from Savoir-Faire Nutrition. Today I'm going to talk about nourishing food for new mums. This is particularly relevant if you've just had your baby or perhaps you've had a baby in the last few weeks. And basically, when you recover from birth, your body needs to rebuild blood, and food can help with that. And we also are looking at repairing our body. For that, we need protein. We need essential fatty acid, because that helps with managing our mood and balance our hormones. And then we need plenty of antioxidants, and that comes from vitamins from fruit and vegetables. So when you've just had your baby and the first week, first few weeks, you will need to eat warm foods, because your organs will still be a little bit unsettled, because when your baby was growing, the organs were pushed to the side. So the first week you may find that your digestion is quite sluggish. So by choosing warm food, this is easier to digest, and that means your body is actually absorbing all the nutrients from the food. So you would also want to add warm drinks to that, so herbal teas, even lukewarm water is better for you than ice cold water, which tends to stop the digestion. So today I'm going to talk about 5 recipes, and I've chosen those because they're really simple to make, but they're really nutritious. So we'll talk about chicken broth, then a butternut and sweet potato soup, a ginger red lentil soup, a stew made with chickpea and miso, and finally a salmon and kale soup as well. So the first one is chicken broth. Now, wherever you go in the world, chicken soup seems to be a fabulous remedy, and there's good reason for that. The way it's cooked, basically you usually use bones. So you can either use whole chicken that you cook in the oven, you can eat the meat and then use the bones, or you can use chicken pieces that you can buy obviously in your local supermarket. And the way the broth is made is you put all the bones in a pan, cover it with water, you bring it to the boil for say half an hour, then you remove the scum from the top, any sort of floating residue, then you can add vegetables, and then you let it cook for quite a long time. So you can either use a pan or you can use a slow cooker. A slow cooker is brilliant if you have one. And some people cook the bones for hours. 2 to 3 hours is a good start. If you can leave it in your slow cooker for 12 to 24 hours, it's even better. It just means that the nutrients from the bones will really come out and go into the liquid. And an ingredient that you need to add in order for the process to really happen is apple cider vinegar. And then some people add vegetables to that, so you can do it towards the end. And then once your broth is ready, you remove everything, you kind of strain the liquid, and you can portion it, you can keep it in your fridge, or you can freeze some, and you can have it, you can drink it as it is. It's a fantastic snack, it's very nourishing and warming in a mug, or you can use it as a base for a soup. So some of the recipes will ask for vegetable broth, but you can actually use chicken broth if you are not a vegetarian. So chicken broth, really the best thing you can have straight after having your baby. It's rich in nutrients, in magnesium and calcium, and also it contains collagen. And collagen turns into gelatin, and gelatin is basically the building blocks for protein, so really essential for repair. Now, the second one is a butternut and sweet potato soup. So this one, really simple ingredients, and I encourage you to take shortcuts. For example, I have found this pack of sweet potato and butternut squash that's already cut up into cubes, so it's there. Let's use those shortcuts. So I'll just go through the list of ingredients, and this recipe is really simple. So butternut squash, some sweet potatoes, some leeks, And then ginger and turmeric, these are wonderful spices. They will not affect your breast milk if you are breastfeeding, but they're very warming for yourself, and also they're known to be antioxidants, to contain antioxidants, which helps with inflammation. So when you're healing, this is highly beneficial. And then turmeric is also helpful for digestive health. What else is in there? A bit of cumin for flavour, some garlic, pepper. Now pepper and turmeric work very well together. In fact, black pepper helps with absorption of curcumin, which is found in the turmeric. So if you want to get all the benefits from the turmeric, then it's always good to add a bit of black pepper, and then a bit of butter or ghee, and then some stock. So it's really simple. You put all the ingredients in the pot and cook it for not very long until the vegetables are tender, and then you blitz it and enjoy it. So that's the second recipe. The third one is red lentil with ginger. Now I like red lentils, that's what they look like, because they are very quick to cook. And again, this recipe contains ginger. So this is your fresh ginger root. So you'd have to remove the skin, and I like to grate it. But you could also use ginger in a powder form. So this recipe has a bit of butter, has plenty of ginger, so very warming. Again, some turmeric, the red lentils, some sweet potato, and some broth, and also coconut milk. Now coconut milk is actually a good fat. Our body needs some essential fatty acids. In fact, our brain is made of 60% fat, so essential fatty acids help balance our mood. So this is really important to make sure we eat enough, and we should eat a little bit at every meal. And then a bit of coriander. So that was the third recipe. The fourth one is chicken and miso stew. Now I like using miso paste. You can find it in little boxes like this. They come in individual sachets, which are brilliant. And miso is a Japanese ingredient, and it's got a lovely savoury taste, but it's also a really good source of protein. It also contains vitamin K, vitamin B, which are essential for energy, iron, magnesium and manganese. Fantastic. And then why chickpeas? Because this is a great source of protein. So you can either buy them in a can, or I like to buy them in a jar because I get double the size. So I usually use half for one dish and then another half for hummus probably. So this recipe, again, it's really simple. It's got olive oil, onions, celery, garlic, chickpeas, plenty of broth, sweet paprika, miso. So the way you'll use miso is that you'd start cooking your vegetables, then you'll take a little bit of stock out of your pan and then mix it with the paste, the miso paste, and then you pour it back. So then it mixes really well, otherwise it tends to stay a bit clumpy. Carrots, and then vegetables like parsnips. You can really use whatever you fancy. Yeah, absolutely, it's very flexible. And then greens. So greens are really rich in nutrients, and it's very important to vary because each type of green will give you a set of nutrients and vitamins. So for example, here I have some Swiss chard. You see the lovely coloured stalks here, and also some kale. So, you know, one day you could do your soup with one type of green, and then the other, you know, another green another day. So that was a chickpea miso vegetable stew. And then the last recipe is a wild salmon and kale soup with coconut milk. That's really delicious and so easy to make. So here we have, again, plenty of chicken stock. So if you are going to make your own chicken stock or broth, I would really encourage you to make quite large quantities. So what people do is when they do cook a whole chicken, they actually freeze the bones. When you've cooked your chicken, you remove the meat, take the bones, and then put them in the bag. in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer. And then when you have a really nice, decent amount of bones, you can make a great chicken broth. So this recipe has coconut milk, again your essential fatty acid, wild salmon. So wild salmon is this one. It's got a nice red colour, is more nutritious than your farm salmon. If you can find that one, fantastic. Otherwise you can use the other one, of course. And so some chopped kale. Now kale, you do have to remove the stalk, this middle bit here, because it's a bit too chewy. So you just want to keep the leaves. I'll show you here. The stalk is right in the middle. It's probably better to see it like that. And so you want to remove that stalk and keep just a leaf. And then what we got? So kale, and then winter squash or pumpkin. Again, you could use sweet potato if that's what you have. Coriander, some fish sauce, and then a little bit of sweetness and some lime juice. So that was the fifth recipe. You will find those on attached to this video. So you will have all the ingredients, so you can start cooking yourself. So I hope this was useful, and I hope you enjoy the recipes and they help you heal nice and quick. Thank you. Bye bye.